Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Hootie Who KSU Football Podcast. My name is Griffin Nichols. I am your host. Please like and subscribe to the show. You can find the show on all sorts of platforms. We're talking X, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You don't want to watch it? You don't want to watch me in my KSU shirt for Victorycast? That's cool. You can listen to my majestic voice then on your podcast listening app, whichever one you prefer, whether that be Apple, Spotify, Amazon. We're all over the place right now. iHeartRadio, who knew? So everywhere you can access a podcast, you can access the Hootie Who KSU Football Podcast. Please like and subscribe. As I said, please check out the Etsy store. Any proceeds coming from the sale of hats, shirts, all those good things, bumper stickers, whatever you want, or magnets, because we don't do stickers anymore because it's 2025, will go back directly to the show and the production of this show. Wow. Who knew? 4 in a row, the 4th Victorycast in a row. Listen, when we started this in February, you and I never imagined, honestly, that it would be going this well. I thought, in looking at the schedule, I was thinking 6-6, with the 6th win coming at Missouri State, before I kind of learned a little bit more about Missouri State. But I'm not going to jinx anything. I'm just saying that the team is playing really well. We've got a final of 35-7 in a game that the opponent was favored to win by 6.5 in your home stadium. What is going on? But also, to add a little bit of spice to it, our starting quarterback did not start. We had to go with our backup, Dexter Williams III. And what did he do? He threw for 284 yards through the air with 4 passing touchdowns. Was awesome. They said at one time that he was 18 yards away from breaking the single game passing record, but the game was just so out of hand that'd be pretty crummy to try to break the record, because you were up by so many. You're up by 28 with about 4 minutes left in the game. Dexter Williams was unbelievable. After we got through the first quarter, it's something, and I was wondering if I mentioned it last week or not. I need to go back and listen. But one thing I was thinking, if I didn't say it, was how lucky Kennesaw State is to have a backup quarterback that is an experienced quarterback. Not many programs have that. Usually you go from the starter to the backup, and there's a massive drop-off. Case in point was Louisiana Tech last night, which I'll get to in a second. But Williams was definitely rattled in the beginning, the first quarter for sure. Just too much juice on the ball a little bit, bad mechanics. There's a time when he runs out of bounds and then throws the pass so you're just not having that awareness of where you are in the field. Just a guy who's just got too much kind of going in and just needs to calm down. I think I said that a few times last night. He just needs to calm down and, watch his mechanics and get back to the basics. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. The run game got going along. Coleman Bennett, just a terrific back. Rushed for 73 yards last night, but put the game away with a 4-yard screen pass that he turns it into a 50-yard touchdown. I mean, and the acceleration was there too. So break a couple tackles, excuse me, take an angle and gone, and they're not touching him. Just smart running. There's a play on the touchdown. I think it is the touchdown to go up 28-7. It's a great play, just a great play design where you are rolling to your right, almost like an option look. You hand it to the running back's running it to the right, and then you have a receiver coming the opposite direction. You hand it off, and it becomes a reverse for a touchdown. And it was just such a good play. I mean, such a good play, such a great formation. There was another formation that I don't think I'd ever seen before, where you had 4 wide receivers out to the right. This is 3rd and forever, and they don't convert it, spoiler alert. But what a creative play call to throw it out to the receiver. You create a wall of 3 receivers blocking for you, and it gets about 10 yards or so. Just a great play. I mean, it really was just a fun offense to watch and kind of see where things are. There's deep passing, there's short passing. I mean, just really, really an exciting brand of football, and I just really enjoy watching them. There's also a good bit, which this is the strangest thing, is Louisiana Tech never adjusted to this, but Kennesaw State was playing a good bit of the game with 6 offensive linemen. Sorry, I got some in my throat. 6 offensive linemen because they couldn't get the run game going the way they wanted to. There's too much pressure on Louisiana Tech's Louisiana Tech's defense, who's a very good defense, by the way. So they brought in a 6 lineman and took out a skill player, and now they're able to run the ball because they had that much more blocking power. And it was just a really good idea. I mean, just a great idea. And I've just not seen a lot of that. Now I've seen teams bring in 2 tight ends or double 2 tight end sets. But I just can't. I think it's 12 personnel is 2 tight ends. I think that's right. But I just can't remember a time when I've seen someone bring in a 6 offensive lineman. And you would think that the defense would have to match up with that by bringing in another down lineman, and they just never did. And I don't know. It was weird. It was there. You know, it was obvious that they were rushing with 6 offensive linemen, and you didn't have an answer for that. So just going through some stats, get this stuff out of the way real fast. Clayton Kabak had the first touchdown pass. He played really well. Honestly, kind of stepping in for Binyard, who they definitely tried to bottle up. Binyard had 7 catches for 35 yards, 2 rushes for 25 yards. They were definitely trying to get him the ball, but Louisiana Tech kind of had him. They were focused in on him. I remember back in the beginning, in the spring of last year, we were talking about this team. I always said, the tight end can be a lethal weapon in this type of offense because you don't forget about the tight end because there's so much movement with the running backs, the wide receivers. Don't forget to pay attention to the tight end. And sure enough, Jordan Jackson with a deep touchdown pass make it 14-7. Just a beautiful play. Just a beautiful play. I mean, it was just stunning. I mean, it really was. It's one of those passes in football that's just so pretty to watch. That he's breaking, he's doing a post, and ball is right there. And touchdown, deep pass, I'd say about 40 yards or so. It was really exciting. And like I said, with Lyndon Ravar, we'll go with Ravar. He had that reverse for a touchdown. 2 interceptions by the defense. What? I know the preview I had said that Louisiana Tech had gone 5 games in a row with creating a defensive touchdown, right? They did not last night. In fact, they turned the ball over twice. So they start off the game with their first quarterback, Baker, I believe, and he was pretty good. He was running up the middle a good bit. Definitely something to pay attention to defensively is the right side of that defensive line, number 5. He was definitely struggling a good bit. Last night they were definitely kind of targeting him somewhat when they were running in that direction. So that seemed to be open all night. They were running a lot of read option with the quarterback being responsible for most of the yards in the first drive, which is when they scored. So, you're in the first quarter, you go 3 and out. In fact, the game starts with a false start, which is crazy. I don't know if I've seen that before, that the game starting with a false start. Bizarre way to start a game. 3 and out, punt the ball. Louisiana Tech comes down and scores just by running it right at you. Second drive, 3 and out, and you got a punt. Good punting, by the way. Really pinned them deep, and defense starts to show up. Now little do you know that they're not going anywhere all night. So Kennesaw State responds, and then Louisiana Tech gets the ball back, and they throw a pick in their own side of the field around the 20. Louisiana Tech's 20, and Baker gets injured, and he's done. He's walking the locker room. He's done for the game. So Bullocks comes in. For my British friends out there, his passing name is Bullocks. He struggled. And you could tell, I mean, I was even saying, I was putting on X that, just based on the way this offense is performing right now, Louisiana Tech's with the backup quarterback, you go up by 2 scores, this thing's about a wrap. I mean, run the ball, you're done. They're not moving the ball, and the defense just clamped down on them. They were just solid all night long, and it concluded with a goal line stop. So there's a penalty. There's an offside penalty. Louisiana Tech is down at the goal line with about a minute and a half left, and there's a penalty, 1st and goal at the 1 yard line. and for 4 straight plays, they just get shut down. They just get shut down. They don't score. Game over. Just the way to end that game with a punctuation mark. Not only did you blow them out of the room offensively, because you did, but then to close them down with the defense that had played so well last night. I just couldn't be more impressed with kind of how the defense played and what an exclamation point it was just to kind of shut it down at the goal line. 4 runs from the 1 yard line and nothing. I mean, nothing. Turnover on downs, run the ball up the middle, and we are done here with another victory that is 4 for the season. So something that we should start talking about because it's becoming a thing a little bit. I'm so terrified to say anything about this because I don't want to jinx anything. But one thing that we do need to talk about is the current standings in Conference USA. With Louisiana Tech losing yesterday, Kennesaw State is in second place all by themselves. Well, that's not true. They're with Jack State. Jack State's also 2-0. Western Kentucky is 3-0. Kennesaw State 2-0, 4-2 overall. Louisiana Tech 2-1. Delaware 1-1. New Mexico State 1-1. Liberty 1-1, who needed a 50-yarder as time expired last night to beat Sam Houston, lowly Sam Houston, who has not had a conference win yet, who just gets beat down on, it seems like, week in, week out. And they play great, but 29-27 was the final. Sorry, I get so close. Let's look at the score. 29-27 was the final of the Jack State Sam Houston game. So that was close. Liberty, I messed that up, by the way, guys. So just to kind of go back, Jack State is 2-0 with a win over Sam Houston. Liberty won over UTEP, who is again 0-2 in the conference. So neither teams who you would say are your rivals or those that are picked to kind of win the conference are playing all that great this season. I mean, they're both struggling a good bit. So this conference is kind of turned upside down a little bit. I mean, Western Kentucky is pretty consistent. They're a good team. I mean, I've watched them a few times, but they can be beaten. Delaware almost beat them. If they had a field goal kicker, they would have beat them last week. That just didn't happen. But 4-2, 2-0 in the conference, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's about to happen here. What I do know is that we keep talking about this. We've talked about this since this podcast started, is you got to get your name out there. You got to put your name out there and let people know what this team is. So national television, right? National television, eyeballs on the screen, and you do that. You absolutely dominate a team that is favored to win, a team that people know. People know of Louisiana Tech, whether they want to say so or not. Louisiana Tech's been a football player for a good while now. So it's a known brand out there for sure. The only loss they had coming into this game was LSU, and they played LSU really close. That was not this type of game. I think it was like 21-7, 21-10, something like that. It was a closer game. I mean, not LSU wasn't going to lose that game, but Louisiana Tech represented for sure. I'm sure there's a lot of emotions there and people you played ball with in high school, so I get all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, just so exciting. It's just so exciting. It's so much fun to cover a team when you watch them that plays with so much heart. I mean, the defense just plays with so much heart every single drive. I mean, guys are flying everywhere from the start of the game to the last play of the game on that fourth and goal at the 1 yard line. Just bodies everywhere flying aggressively. Just a well-called defensive performance, a well-called offensive performance. I mean, Coach Mack, kudos to this guy. I mean, if you aren't sold on this was the right call, I don't know what to say. I mean, he's done everything he can possibly do. Yes, the Wake Forest game will bother me forever, and I'll bring it up every show how much that game bothers me. But you know, it's just really exciting to cover this product, and I had no foresight when I started this program. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what kind of team I was going to cover. I'm covering a team that was 2-10 last year. You know, that's really struggled for the last couple seasons since they made the move up, and to have this kind of season with this kind of product on the field is just outstanding. I mean, and you could hear it in the crowd. We even had a little rain last night. The crowd still stayed there and cheered this team on. I mean, really, really exciting stuff. Looking forward, we're going to next play UTEP. That's wrong. Excuse me. KSU will travel to FIU on October 21st. That's a Tuesday, so a week and a half from now to play FIU, who is currently sitting at 0-1 in the conference. Again, that should be a win. It is a road game. That's something to take into consideration. This team has not won on the road yet this season. That's one of the hurdles. Another hurdle, I think, is playing as a favorite, playing as a team that people are going to start talking about a little bit as, hey, maybe this is one of those teams to watch out for in Conference USA. So how do you play with success? If last night's any indication, you play well with success, but you were at home. So take success on a national broadcast that everybody's talking about. People have been talking about it online all day today, those that follow Kennesaw State. You take that on the road, and how do you handle that? And FIU is a great opponent to find out that against. I mean, they are not a great team. Definitely should be a win there, but who knows? On the road, you just never know. You come back home the following Tuesday, the 28th. Real fast, going back to the FIU game on Tuesday, the 21st, that's on ESPN2, so another prime time spot. Only game in town. And there it is. And so, again, play well again, make a name, keep putting the brand out there for sure. Week later, you come back home, you play UTEP at home. UTEP is struggling this year. That should be a win. At home, absolutely that should be a win. The following week, you go to New Mexico State. New Mexico State currently is 1-1 in the conference. Who knows? That's a long trip, so we'll see kind of what that's all about. But I think we'll get a feel for this team on the road going to FIU to just take care of business. So Kennesaw State would be the more talented team in both those road matchups. But what impact does the road have on you? Traveling, not staying in your bed, that kind of stuff. It's a real thing, especially in college with the crowd and all that stuff and the pageantry. So, yeah, we're going to see, but it's real exciting. I mean, you could be bowl eligible in 2 weeks with a game at home against UTEP. I mean, that's crazy to think about to where what we thought the season was going to be and kind of how it's ending up. And then you kind of look down the road a little bit. Jack State is not playing great. Liberty is not playing great. Those games are both on the road, which is tough. Don't get me wrong. But those are winnable games. Missouri State coming all the way over here to play at home. I like Kennesaw State's chance in that game. Now, injuries are important. Amari Odom obviously did not play if Dexter Williams kind of had that game. Also, what does that do to the quarterback room? Who's your starter? I still think you go with Odom, but Dexter Williams kind of shook it off yesterday, and there was a reason he was projected as the starter coming into the season and started at Wake Forest. He just got in his own way in that game. I mean, just being at that game, there was moments that you could see why he would be a starter. I mean, I thought that in the spring as well. There's moments you definitely think he's a starter. He's got a cannon. He absolutely does. Decision-making, though, the decision-making is really what concerns me about him a little bit. I mean, there's just some balls that are forced, especially when you're putting a team away. You don't have to do that. You don't have to throw a ball up in the air like that. There's a play... there's a series of plays where he's rolling out to the right. There's no one open. He does the smart thing and throws it away. Smart. That's what you do. There's another play, though, same scenario, rolling out to the right, and he tries to force a throw down the field to make this home run, highlight play, and it's just not there. It's in double coverage, and it's lucky to not get picked. In fact, the receiver had to go up and play defense between two Louisiana Tech defenders. It's just not necessary. You don't have to turn the ball over, Look what happens. You control the game. You control the ball. You do what you do on offense, which is tempo, tempo, tempo. You run it. You pass it. You throw extended run plays, which is just throwing it out to the flat real fast and taking your receiver and letting them run it, which is just an extension of a running play. And you wear a team out. That defense was exhausted by the time the fourth quarter came. Louisiana Tech's was. And they just couldn't keep up, and you could see that. I mean, you knew that it was over really fast. I mean, maybe they did as well. But even on runs, even on passes, they're still playing hard. There's a play where Coleman Bennett is running the ball, and he busts one out for like 25, 30 yards. And I assume he was a linebacker, is coming to tackle him, and Coleman just lowers his head, runs the guy over, guy's out of the game. He dislocates his shoulder on the hit from the running back. So, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, just hard play, just playing with passion and with power and just an awesome overall performance. The kicker got tackled in his nether regions, so he was limping off a little bit. But I don't mean to laugh. I'm so angry about the Wake Forest game. but but no, he had a good game as well. So well, no, he didn't. Not really. I mean, he was fine. He hit extra points, but there was a moment, and this is something that also worries me about Williams. 2 games now. It's the Merrimack game at the end of the half. Just poor clock management cost them points because they run out of time as time expires. In this game here, this was weird. They get the ball back right before halftime with 43 seconds. Complete a couple deep shots. They have the ball around the 25-yard line. Field goal range. But they snap the ball then. So you're looking at 20 seconds left. They snap the ball, 25-yard line, and Dexter Williams is running around trying to make a play, but there's nothing there, right? So he decides to slide. I mean, okay, that's fine. You can do that. But here's the weird part, is they had to line up to clock the ball, to snap the ball and spike it down to clock the ball. But they had a timeout. So why in the world would you do that? They do it wrong. They get a 5-yard penalty that pushes them back. And now it's that much longer of a field goal, and the kicker then doinks it off the crossbar. So, you know, in this game, it didn't make a difference, right? I mean, this game was pretty much close to being done at the start of the second half. As soon as that 21-7 happened and their offense was playing the way that they were, it was a done deal. But you can't have that stuff happen in games that are close like that. That field goal can make or break whether you win a game. So the clock management has got to be something that's worked on with Williams a little bit, that if it's not there, don't waste 15 seconds running around looking for the guy to come open. Get the ball out of there. Throw that thing away. You know, take off earlier and save that clock. You know, save the clock because now you have another play. But because there was only 4 seconds left, once they slid and spiked the ball, which is bizarre, you have to kick the field goal. You can't get any closer. Again, if you're not spiking the ball or clocking the ball, you don't get a false start penalty. So just bizarre. And it was kind of frustrating, but in the end, it didn't come back and bite them. So I am very happy with that. All good things, guys. All positive things. Truly, I'm really, really excited that this program is playing the way they are, that this product is so enjoyable to watch for the masses, that name is getting out there. And to have it on ESPN2 a week and a half from now, on Tuesday the 21st, and then to have it on ESPNU the following week, October 28th on a Tuesday, you got to love it. I mean, you got to love it. I mean, it's just very exciting, and I'm happy for all of us who follow Kennesaw State football, just what the Owls are doing right now. And, yeah, it's just terrific. So I'm going to switch over because it is Friday, so we do have college football tomorrow, and I told you before, I'm a huge college football fan. So I want to talk about a few games tomorrow, kind of preview what you're watching tomorrow, if you will. It's a funny day. It's kind of a funny day with the way the games are shaped up because a lot of bigger games are in the morning, which is interesting, versus late at night. So we'll get to all those big games real fast. So we start off with Ohio State at Illinois. I think Ohio State's a 10.5-point favorite. I like Ohio State in that game. I don't think I'm not blown away with Ohio State's offense, but their defense is legit. So yeah, I like Ohio State to win that game against Illinois. Alabama versus Mizzou at Mizzou. It's an interesting one. I'm not going to lie. I'm curious. I think Alabama, from what we have seen and what we've been shown so far after the Florida State game, has been playing really well. We'll see what they're like on the road. Again, that first loss against Florida State was on the road in a hostile environment. Mizzou's not going to be quiet, so it's going to be a tough place to play, and Mizzou plays great defense, and that running back is the real deal. So we will see kind of what happens there. One of the more interesting games out there, I think, is the Oregon versus Indiana game. That game's later in the day. I think that's a 3:30 game. That's an interesting one. I mean, we just don't know. Now, we saw Indiana up close against Kennesaw State. The only thing we've seen of Oregon from the masses, if you will, the biggest product that they put out there was the Penn State game. But what's Penn State? And that's where you get in trouble with comparing games and teams. Here's what I know. Going to Oregon is a long trip. It's a really hostile place to play in. So Oregon's going to be pretty pumped up. I think it's too much for Indiana. Yeah, I do. I mean, that's how I feel. I feel like Oregon wins that game. I just don't know. I'm just so curious if that game's close or not because I could see it going the other way. I know Indiana had heard all season that they played no one, and when they finally played someone, they got blown out, right? They know that too. If I know that, you know that, they know that. So let's see what Indiana kind of brings to the table. Texas and Oklahoma. Boy, that's a tough one to call. I would normally say Oklahoma based on what we saw from Texas last week, but it's a rivalry. We don't know what the shape is of the quarterback for Oklahoma. He is supposedly playing the game tomorrow, even though he has been injured. So it's his first game back after being injured. What is Oklahoma? I mean, that's the other part. Who have they really blown away? I mean, the Auburn game was controversial because of a questionable play call that was, not outside the rules, but it was right there. I got Texas. I got Texas coming back and win that game. UF and University of Florida at A&M. Everybody's going to be all up on Florida because of the win last week against Texas. Listen, I've watched A&M a few times this year. A&M's a good team. That quarterback is a lot better than I thought he was going to be. I like A&M at home in that game. It's a close one, but I do like that game. Texas Tech versus Kansas. For those of you who don't know, because it's a random team, right? Not many people are paying attention to Texas Tech. Texas Tech is good. Texas Tech is a good team who has spent a lot of money. It's not just all offense like it used to be. So I like Texas Tech over Kansas, but I think we kind of get an idea of what Texas Tech's all about because Kansas is no slouch either. They play good defense. That quarterback's pretty shifty. And I can see them giving Texas Tech some trouble. I think we get an idea who Texas Tech is tomorrow. At least, if they go in there and blow them out, then so be it. Then you know. Then you know that the ranking's correct and this is a real team. Georgia versus Auburn. Excuse me. Georgia versus Auburn. I like Georgia in that game. Auburn cannot score points. They cannot get first downs. Of course, as soon as I say that, watch them pull some upset, but I don't see it. I like Georgia in that game. LSU versus South Carolina. South Carolina is like a Jekyll and Hyde team. I got no idea. LSU's at home at night, Death Valley. It's scary. It's dark. But I like LSU in that game. Their defense is really good. Finally, for those of you staying up late tomorrow night, you got Utah and Arizona State. Arizona State is traveling to Utah. Last game, Arizona State lost when they traveled to Mississippi State. I think there's some questions about Arizona State's quarterback as well. I like Utah in the upset there. So those are the big games tomorrow. There's some other games. There's Florida State over Pitt is what I think is going to happen, but I don't know that I say that. I think that I don't know. Florida State, listen, this is what's going to happen. They win the game, and everybody's going to be like, yay, they're fine, If they lose that game to Pitt tomorrow, who's on the road, who is not as good as Florida State is from a talent perspective and is starting a true freshman quarterback who did play great last week, I think Norvell may be in trouble if they lose that game tomorrow. I really do, because all the goodwill that was built up from the Alabama game, and then you play Virginia and Miami and just don't look like the same team. So we'll see, but that's going to be one to watch for tomorrow as well. I think that's a close game. I think that's a single-score game. I think it comes down to the end. I really do. We'll see if I'm right, but if Florida State loses that game, they're going to be looking for a new coach this season or next season. So we'll see, but that's one to watch. Yeah, there's good games there, but just not high-profile games tomorrow. So the ones I went over are the highest-profile games. So definitely a good day of watching football. Not really a park your butt kind of Saturday, but definitely kind of flip around and see what game's good and then hone in on that game. That's it, guys. That's what I got. I got 30 minutes right there at you. Another victory cast for the Owls. So hooty hoo. Let's go, Owls. Let's keep it going. I will see you in about a week. I'll probably do this a week from Sunday so I can do the preview before the Tuesday game. With these Tuesday games, kind of funny. So I will be back a week from Sunday, so 9 days from now. And we'll see you then. Y'all enjoy the weekend. Again, go Owls. Awesome week. And take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for supporting me. Appreciate it. Bye.